Well, Secret Invasion delivers its second episode called Promises. Yeah, when you make a promise, you shouldn't break it, or terrible things could happen. So, of course, that's the whole point. Well, actually, it's a whole Mad at Daddy story overall. But the reason they're mad is because they feel like Daddy didn't live up to their expectations of him, you know. So last episode, of course, we found out that Talos's daughter has gone rogue and joined the terrorist faction of the Skrulls. And it's all because she's mad at Daddy. And he's like, oh, my daughter. And he thought maybe he had brought her back, but now she led them into a trap and all that stuff. Got Maria Hill killed, you know, so I don't know how you get redemption for her after something like that. Now, she didn't kill her. Her boyfriend, well, I guess he's not quite her boyfriend, but, well, whatever. Gravik, the leader of these idiots, he killed her. And so there you go. Oh, no. Nick Fury's all upset and crying and stuff. And so then... for the second episode, they decided, hey, wait a minute, how'd all this happen? So they decided to give you some backstory. So they show some footage from Captain Marvel from 1995. And then, hey, the Skrulls took off to go find a new home. Well, it didn't work out. So by 97, they were back. Don't know what became of Carol Danvers. You would think they'd be more mad at her because I guess she got distracted with something else. You know, for 20 years or whatever. So they came back and said, hey, we're just going to have to hang out here on Earth. So Nick Fury said, okay, fine, but you're going to have to work for us. So with your shape-shifting abilities, you'll make great spies. And then he said, don't worry, we'll find you a new home at some point. Me and Carol, we're going to be on that job. And, well, okay, they never did. Now, 5 of the years since, of course, Nick Fury ceased to exist when Thanos snapped him out of existence. But then, of course, Endgame brought him back. So that's good, but he's still suffering from PTSD over it, you know, even though technically it never happened. Of course, the stupidity of the blip means they would have some idea that it happened, but yeah, it's funny. Peter Parker doesn't seem to have too much of a problem with it in the Spider-Man movies, you know? Yeah, and even his scene took the longest for him to fade away. He was like feeling sick and stuff, and then he disintegrated in Iron Man's arms and all that. Huh. Well, anyway, so all kinds of tensions are going on between Russia and America. You know, and but it's the plot of the Skrulls, you know, to get them at each other so they can wipe out humanity and take the planet. And so there's a secret council of Skrulls who infiltrated all kind of positions of power. The leader of NATO's there and all that stuff, and Prime Minister of Britain, just on and on and on. And but Gravik convinces them to all submit to him, except for some lady who's disguised as some woman from, I don't know, India, I guess. So she leaves, and they say, hey, no harm will befall you, but so far, no. So off she goes, and she calls Telos, and Telos says, oh, well, maybe I should meet with him. Yeah, maybe. So they've got some mysterious machine going on. You know, what are they doing with that? Oh, well, that's the secret subplot, I suppose. So there's that. And Khaleesi, Talos' daughter, she spies on that. So, hey, she's playing both sides. Yeah, well, whatever. So, meanwhile, James Rhodes shows up, you know, War Machine, but it's not going to be War Machine because for some reason they've decided not to allow any superheroes in this series. Of course, they're too expensive to do. Yeah. And he comes in to bring Nick Fury in because Nick Fury and Maria Hill were spotted there, that gives credence to the idea that the Americans were behind the attack in Moscow. So Oh, boy, he says, boy, you really screwed all this up, Fury. It's time for you to come in, and you're no longer an agent. We're firing you and all that. But he takes out James's bodyguard and then leaves. And goes to a house where there's this woman there, and he makes out with her, whom I assume is his wife. Okay. So the mad at daddy part, so you get Khaleesi mad at Telos. So why is Gravik, who's his daddy? Well, I don't think we know but in the 1997 footage where they de-aged Samuel Jackson and all that stuff, he really, he was he was sad and he was lost, and they'd been chased out of other worlds, and so they came to Telos and to join on Earth and all that. And Nick Fury made his promise about, hey guys, take on a human appearance and work as S.H.I.E.L.D. agents, and I'll find you a home. Don't worry about it. And so Gravik feels betrayed. So his daddy figure didn't live up to his expectations. So he's mad. So he decides to, commit mass murder and stuff. And he says, well, humans are disgusting people and they're killing each other, and they don't believe in climate change and stuff like that, So we're just helping the inevitable. So there you go. Meanwhile, Nick Fury, in his arguments with James Rhodes, kind of believes with the same sentiments. And then he says, hey, guys who look like you and me don't get these jobs easily, and Nick Fury's basically been in charge for decades at this point. Yeah. Oh, well. But it doesn't have to make sense. You just drop it in there so that the show seems special, like it's really delivering a message, The metaphor is green people. So anyway, it's not that great. There's some moments here and there. Olivia Colman tortures a Skrull. Yeah, she cuts his finger off, not his whole hand, just the finger. It turns green. So she says, "Oh, look, and then injects him with some sort of poison that makes him feel really bad. And then he gives up all the information she needs, and then she takes off. Boy, she's gonna crap her panties when she finds out that her boss is a Skrull. Well, the Prime Minister, Oh well. We'll figure that out later. So there you go. Yeah, Nick Fury's got a girlfriend or wife or something. I don't know. How about that? Yeah.
We are currently experiencing technical difficulties. Please stand by.
Oh yeah, I screwed up. I taped the whole review and forgot to mention Nick Fury's wife, or girlfriend, I don't know, probably wife, is a Skrull. It's a bit unclear if he's aware of this because of the way the scene unfolded, but she's a Skrull. I don't know why I just let that slip, but it's almost as if I was bored or something. Anyway, sorry about that, but yeah, she's a Skrull. I don't. He still can't call Carol Danvers now. I guess after Endgame, she immediately took back off into space. She just, after all them years, she's like, I don't want anything to do with Earth anymore. It's too much stuff to do, Well, she'll show up in Marvels, Yeah. So I'm guessing by the end, Nick Fury will have to get his mojo back so that he can be badass Nick Fury, or at least, pose like it for the Marvels. Unless, of course, that's a Skrull. Like Telos decides, I'm going to carry on the legacy of Nick Fury because he died in this show, maybe. I don't know. Will they reveal that Tony Stark didn't die, but that was a Skrull in his place? No. Anyway, it's only 2 episodes in. It's not the worst thing that they've done, but it's certainly not the best. Oddly enough, Ms. Marvel is their best. Then Werewolf by Night was pretty good. That's about it. So it's only 2 episodes. Can't judge it like that, but it has the danger of having the same horrible ethic that Falcon and Winter Soldier had. And probably more likely that sort of scenario will play out. I mean, it's already preaching nonsense while insulting it at the same time, but they're too stupid to understand that. So, anyway. As promised, a lackluster episode of Secret Invasion.